I wish I knew.
Welcome back to My Husband is My Best Friend.
Letoya Luckett gets emotional recalling her transition from Destiny's Child to a solo career.
Houston's. And so as we're sitting at the table, and I'm just like, I'm here because I'm here. I'm not here seeking, any validation. I'm not here to be encouraged or for somebody to push me in the studio. I was just there because my mama said come. So we have this meeting, and he ends up telling me, he was like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do music. I can take a shot at modeling. I honestly haven't thought about it that much since. I really just kind of want to heal and focus on my healing and find myself again. Because, when you're in a group and you've gone through such, a major transition, traumatic experience like I did, I just really wanted to find my footing again. And so he ended up telling me, he was like, basically like, if you do, because yes, God, you can do all things through Christ. Hello. And so he ended up telling me, y'all, at this table at Houston's, I will never let him live this down. But I remember distinctly him saying, if you do decide to go back into the industry, I know y'all can't see a table. So let's say this is the table, okay? This is the table at Houston's, right? He was like, if a new artist is right here, you're right here. You are below zero. And you want to know why? It's because you're going to have to dig yourself out of this hole of everyone's opinions, of all the drama, of all the things that took place with the group. You're going to have to find your own identity. You are going to have to reintroduce yourself to the world. If you want people to really get into you and know who Letoya is, you got a lot of digging to do. So you're below zero. You're below or beneath what a real, a brand new artist, what their journey would look like, and the steps that they would have to take. You're beneath that because there's a lot of stuff that comes with you, if you will. And although in the way he said, if you know Chris, it was super duper dry. There was no fluffy padding around it. It was very direct, if you know him. And in the comments, that was real. It was real. It was the realest thing I'd heard in a long time. But he was like, you got work to do. You got way more work to do than anybody that's trying to come out as a new artist because of what happened. And that is basically ruling the world right now. That's all over the place. That's not going to go away. It's continuing to sell it's a machine. It's selling records. It's getting the attention. It's getting this and this and this. Like, you got to first see if anybody cared. Like, that's how he was talking to me. And at that time, I was like, 19, 20 years old? Just came out of this situation, heartbroken, all this. And he basically like, good luck. But I think something went off in my brain when he said that. And if you know me, and if you're a Pisces, if you got faith like I do, if you know what I'm saying? I was like, now wait a minute, don't hit me with a challenge, huh? Don't hit me with a good time. Cause, and so I ended up from that meeting and from hearing that from him, I went to LA, me and my cousin. I remember being in an apartment in Los Angeles, overlooking Santa Monica. We just doing 20-year-old stuff. And my cousin Tiffany was like, you should call that dude Terry. You should call Terry, the dude that the Hicks dude was talking about. Call Terry Ross. And, since we in LA, try and link up with him. I'm like, cool. So I called Terry. That's how I used to say his name. I called Terry. I get Terry on the phone. I hope Terry's watching this. I don't know if he is. He's one of the ones that don't come outside. Chris definitely don't come outside. But Terry might be outside. I'm going to check. And Dave, if you're on here, call Terry and tell him I'm looking for him. If Dave is even on here. But I meet up with Terry. Me and Terry have a brief conversation, and he brings me to meet to the studio to meet Dave Young and Danny Chung. And when I met them, once again, I went in there with no expectations, y'all. I was just not trying to, this was not on my radar. I was not looking for a good time in these album streets. If I was willing, if I was going to sing, I would have sang background for somebody, you know, with Destiny's Child. I played the back. I knew my position. I was getting the dance routines. You know what I'm saying? We were doing the dance routines and we were singing the background vocals and I was hitting my soprano. And that's just where I was with it. So I wasn't looking to be out front at all, you know? And so, went in the studio and Dave, started playing some records and he dared me to go in the booth. I went in the booth. And if you know Dave, Dave, I don't even know if Dave put out this single, but I know he was on tour with us with Mary J. Blige. And if you've ever heard Dave sing, he has one of the most amazing voices that it hugs you. His voice, like, is so comforting and it's so warm. And he has one of the best voices in R&B, one of the best unheard voices in R&B. But he is one of them writers and singers that probably have written some of your favorite records and you just didn't know it. He's one of those guys, and he doesn't like to come outside, by the way. But he was singing he was singing some lines to me. He's one of those people that don't really write nothing down, and he started just singing lines to me and asking me to repeat it. So I think the first song that I recorded was You Got What I Need. Hey bro, Kenny, if you get on here, you're gonna make me cry. Okay. I love my bro, Kenny Burns. But I went in the studio and he was singing me lines and he was like, repeat after me. And just imagine, like, if I can paint a visual for y'all, imagine someone who was learning to walk again and was too scared to take the first step, and having the best coach to just tell you to get up and stand, and that you could stand on your own. You can do this. I did not mean to come on this internet and cry like this. Okay, anyways, let me get this out. But Dave literally sat on the other side of that glass and he taught me how to walk again as a vocalist. And he was singing these lines and I would just copy him. And he started off, you got what I need, baby, you got what I need. And I was like, his tone was so, and I just was like, I don't know if I can do this. And he was like, you can, just copy me. And so I just started copying him and singing, you know, not to say copying him, but I was repeating after him as he fed me these lines to this record. And before I looked up, before I knew it, we were recording the song. We were recording the first song, my first song, hearing myself on tape for the first time and singing the backgrounds and singing the leads and singing all of this like by myself. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Just even listen back to it and be like, that's me by myself. I was walking again. I was learning how to walk again and believe in myself again. So shout out to Dave for, why is my husband walking in here and bringing me tissue? Thanks, babe. Because I'm
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Baby, okay? All right, so let me get myself together because this is weird. But I am not even 10 minutes in and I'm crying. Okay, so yes, shout out to your boy Dave Young. And I refuse to be crying when Dave gets on here. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said I'm proud of you. Thank you. So yes, that was the first record. The first record that was ever created, that I ever did by myself, was You Got What I Need, which ended up being like the teaser. Like that's what Terry and Chris and Dave used to like get the word around the industry that I was back in the studio. So much they went as far as making these little door knockers. There was a thing going on. I think it was Impact. I don't know if it was. It might have been Impact, but there was like this huge music convention. Dave, hi! I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. So look at your screen because I don't even know if you know how to go live because you don't be in these streets, but I'm about to put you on here. Anyways, so at Impact, Terry and Chris made, and Damon, big guy, I don't even know if he has an Instagram. Big guy Damon, thank you. I love you so much. They made these door knockers and they hung them on the doors of all the hotel rooms where Impact was being held at that hotel. And so they had the You Got What I Need single, the disc, in this cute little door knocker. And so that when people got back to, hey Terry, all right, I'm bringing you on too. So that when people came back to their rooms, my single would be hanging on their door. Just to kind of like get a feeler out there, like, wait a minute, hold on. She be singing? You know what I mean? Because people didn't really see me outside of Destiny's Child. So it was like a big surprise to them. And so when word got around, I guess there was some interest. And so we kept, we stayed in the studio, locked in the studio. And we just kept making records. I want to get Dave on here, Dave Young. I want to get Dave Young on here to kind of talk about the studio experience. Once again, if you're just joining, Dave Young was the silent partner, but the biggest voice on my debut album. He was my coach. He was my friend, my best friend. He was my confidant. He was all of the things. And he really helped me create or find my sound, find my voice again for my debut album. And you hear him all over touring. So when touring first comes on, and because I'm crying, of course, my vocal cords are swollen, so I'm gonna sound terrible. But you hear the that's Dave. So I'm in a lot of the backgrounds, but I'm about to bring him on. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. There he goes.
Thanks for tuning in to My Husband is My Best Friend.